Good evening, everyone. My name is Mary Gargar. So, for today, we'll be going to make a storytelling about the Greek um, mythology about the gods and goddesses. In the beginning, there was only chaos. The world was formed by a wildering mass where all things were blending together. This hectic period lasted for many years eras that was begun when Jaya and other primordial deities began to put order into something that had only known chaos. Up to that point, Mother Earth, without the help of any other deity, developed Uranus of God of heaven, and that one would reign over anything else. So the great god would meet the goddesses Gaia every single night. These meetings generated many children, among them with the titans of Cyclops and the Hecate. Thank curses for having generated the deeply powerful children. The god of heaven feared to be dethroned by them. Therefore, right after they were born, Father Sky trapped them in the womb of Mother Earth, and this place became known as Tartarus. Gaia was forced to contain inside of her divine beings and bearers of colossal power, and his caused her severe pain after many errors of suffering of subjugation. Gaia grew tired of Uranus' tyranny. He began to plot a way to overthrow him. She freed her. So youngest and also the most ambitious son, the Titan Kronos, had begged him to free her from his father's tyranny, assuming the power of reigning over the universe. The ambitious Titan accepted the difficult task imposed by Gaia. To accomplish this mission, his mother handed him a diamond made Cronos, then departed towards Uranus' heavenly place or heavenly palace. There he met his father, who was sleeping on a cloud. The Titan readied himself to strike the fatal blow. Cronus hit a paper strike right the testicles of God in the sky. This yielded a painful shriek until anything overheard of the history of the universe. Uranus fell atop of the cloud, and his blood painted the sky scarlet red. Cronus, triumphantly, returned eagerly to tell them or to tell his mother about his glorious achievement. Gaia was radiant and very proud of her son, as he had been promised. Kronos became the lord of the whole universe. His first act was to ensure the freedom of his brother, and so he invited them to a proper feast as a tribute to them. Dawn King and Kronos is visited by his father Spectrum, who told him, "You are an infamous offspring which stained your heads with the blood of your own father, and just like your assort, the supreme power of the supreme power, you can lose it one day." After overthrowing God, Uranus came from heaven, throne of Titan Kronos, began his reign as a world supreme. The Lord Golden Age of Man emerged during the reign of the powerful Titan. During his golden period, peace, and harmony were common denominators in the world. It was a state of permanent spring. The abundance turned work-like agriculture into something unnecessary. It was a world where the word need was meaningless. However, the life of the gods was not as peaceful as one of the men. Kronos had become a tyrannical ruler just like his father had been. The god loved to yell the following expression: his or this is how things work in here. I'm the one in charge and no one else. After marrying her sister, that god Gray, Kronos feared the prophecy of his father, who cursed him, saying that it happened to him one of his sons would rise again his sovereignty and take his power. Kronos of the zenith of his paranoia started to devour his children as soon as they were born, guaranteeing that none of them would dare to defy him. God's Rhea was desolated, saying, tyrannical God of our one children after another. The queen was pregnant again, but this time she rebelled and made the decision that her son would not be a meal for Kronos for his reason. For these reasons, Rhea descended the earth and gave birth to Zeus in a cave on the island of Crete. She left her son for the raising of the nymphs and the forest. Kronos knew that Rhea was pregnant and was waiting for the child's birth to devour him. Rhea locked herself in her chamber and deceitfully yelled as she was struggling with labor pains. When she left her chamber where the gunner was holding his sheet with the rock illuminating the shape of the baby, she was aware that Kronos, eagerly to devour another son, would swallow him at one go without realizing a mistake. And that was what happened. Rhea pretended to cry sad and loss of yet another child, but in truth she was joyfully crying for having managed to save her own son, which a dreadful fate. Meanwhile, the young Zeus was raised by the nymphs of breastfeed by the goat and Athea. When he got older, Zeus started to be educated by an enchanted eagle, which traveled the world and gave him news the news of everything that was happened. When he reached adulthood, Zeus was informed of his true identity and also the terrible fate of his brothers. Determined Zeus looked for a way to free his brothers with the help of the Titan Oceanus. Zeus found a potion that would make Kronos vomit his brothers, and so the disguise as a celestial lies. Zeus convinced Kronos to take the potion, saying that it was a nectar with an unex- or unprecedented quality. After drinking the nectar, Kronos was nauseous and punked all his brothers. Hestia, the Demeter, Hera, Hades, Poseidon, and addition to the stone used to deceive Kronos, now with the support of his brother Zeus, claimed for himself the supreme power over the world, but Cronus was not willing to give up his power without a fight. Thus, the War of the Titans began. Zeus had usurped a title of supreme god from his father, the Titan Cronus, and freed his brother from inside the Titan's belly. This betrayal was the fuse for the Titan, make also known as the War of the Titans, on the side of Cronus and his Titan allies, on the other Zeus and his brothers, the gods, led by Zeus, had to Mount Olympus as their headquarters, and therefore became known as gods of Olympus, where Ares, Cronos, and the Titans were lodged in the Mount Oreus. Cronos, his army, had a general, the mighty Titan, Atlas, who would lead attacks against the gods of Olympus. Zeus, aware of the power of the Titan army, looked for reinforcement in the Tartarus, where he unleashed the powerful Cyclops. They, in gratitude, forced incredibly weapons for the gods. Zeus was granted his thunder, and lightning. Poseidon received a trident capable of causing terrible storms and earthquake, and Hades got the helmet of terror, which gave him the power of invisibility. The two armies were on the collision course. When they met, the noise was so raucous and had trembled the universe. Earthquakes, volcano erupts, and typhoons ruled the earth. During the battle, Zeus unleashed his powerful lightning, where Ares, the Titans, who entire mountains against the gods of the battle between the gods and the Titans was lasting for almost 10 intense years of one-on-one clashes, and the Titans appeared to have an advantage. Zeus decided to unleash the dreaded Hecate Hungaries, who were giants with 100 arms and 50 heads. The horrific creatures had a decisive impact on shifting the war. The Titan army panicked and demoralized, ran away. Defeat was inevitable. Zeus, with his powerful lightning, dropped Cronos to his knees, and gods sentenced the Titan. Pronos and his allies to a life sentence that at the Tartarus, and ordered the Hecatong Chorus to guard the powerful gates built by Poseidon on hold the Titans. But Zeus was holding a special punishments for the Titans at last, who had led the Titanic troops. He was sentenced to sustain the weight of the earth on his back for all eternity. Zeus strengthened himself as god of gods. However, Gaia, the mother of the fearsome Titans, were angry with the incarceration of her children and plotted a vengeance. So against Zeus, after the Titans had been defeated by the gods of Olympus, it was time to divide the spoils of war. Zeus was determined to punish the era the tyrants gods ruled the universe, and so he decided to share some of his power. Zeus, as the supreme god, started to reign over the sky. Poseidon became the sea, where Ares assumed total power over the underworld. also known as the Kingdom of Dead. Everyone who fought by his side was properly honored. From that moment onward, the government of the gods and the Olympus over the world and man were put in motion, but after being capable of strengthening these sorts of power, the gods will still have to face one last and dreadful challenge. The goddess Gaia, the mother of the Titans, was enraged with the gods of Olympus, since they had imprisoned her son in the Tartarus, and so she plotted a revengeful act against Zeus. The goddess generated the darkness creature of all the monsters. This powerful being was conceived just with one purpose: to defeat Zeus. The outrageous beast departed to Mount Olympus. The gods of Olympus, plotting the enormous beast, ran away in panic to avoid being recognized. They disguised themselves as animals and found shelter in Egypt. Their divinity also recognized and revered. Their only Zeus remained to fight Typha. The clash between them was ferocious. Zeus uses bolt as a weapon, as well as the size of Cronus. Nonetheless, during the battle, Zeus is disarmed by Typha, who used a scythe to tear Zeus' tendons, and powerful god is defeated and injured. Zeus is imprisoned, and his tendons started to be supervised by a kid. Now the woman serpent, with the help of a Pan, the gods Hermes, managed to steal Zeus' tendons and gave them back to Zeus, who reigned his strength and set sail, looking forward to having his revenge against Zeus. Zeus had immeasurable help from Amor, who fed the beast with poisoned fruit. Finding his enemy in the deliberated vision, Zeus advanced to consummate his victory. He shot his most powerful bolt against Hypen's head, who crumbled and defeated Zeus, imprisoned him at Mount Etna, which due to the monster immersed power and started to spread the lava. From time to time after his valiant victory, way for Zeus and the gods of Olympus to reign over earth was opened here. Thank you very much.